It's 2027, a Tuesday morning in the Taiwan Strait. A Chinese amphibious assault fleet is moving toward the coast of Taiwan. Overhead, hundreds of Chinese fighter jets are establishing air superiority. Ballistic missiles are raining down on Taiwanese airfields and military bases. The invasion has begun. 800 miles to the east, the USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group receives the order. Proceed to the Taiwan Strait at maximum speed. Prepare for combat operations. The captain looks at his chart. Between his strike group and Taiwan, there are 400 Chinese warships, 2,000 short and medium-range missiles pointed at him, the largest submarine fleet in the world, and satellite coverage tracking his every move. He turns to his executive officer and says 5 words. This is what we trained for. But did they train enough? Because what's about to happen has no precedent in modern naval warfare. The last time 2 major navies fought each other was 1944, 80 years ago. Before guided missiles, before satellites, before cyber warfare, before anti-ship ballistic missiles that can hit a moving carrier from 1,000 miles away. Nobody actually knows what happens when the US and Chinese navies fight. But we can make educated guesses based on what both sides have, what they've trained for, and what military analysts have been wargaming for years. Let's start with the numbers, because the numbers alone tell a story. The United States Navy has roughly 290 battle force ships, 11 aircraft carriers, 9 amphibious assault ships that basically function as light carriers, approximately 70 submarines, of which roughly 50 are nuclear attack submarines, the most lethal underwater weapons ever built. Around 100 destroyers and cruisers armed with the Aegis combat system, the most advanced naval air defense network in the world. China's People's Liberation Army Navy, the Plan, has approximately 370 warships. That makes it numerically the largest navy on Earth. It has 3 aircraft carriers, the Liaoning, the Shandong, and the Fujian. Over 50 submarines, including 6 nuclear attack boats, and roughly 140 corvettes and frigates armed with anti-ship missiles. But raw numbers are misleading, because this isn't a video game where you line up ships and count who has more. Geography, technology, experience, and strategy matter more than hull counts. And that's where it gets interesting. Let's talk about what the United States does better than anyone else on Earth. First, experience. The U.S. Navy has been operating aircraft carriers in combat for over 80 years. It fought the largest naval battles in history. It has conducted continuous carrier operations in every ocean on the planet since World War II. That institutional knowledge, knowing how to coordinate a carrier strike group in real combat, is something you can't buy or copy. You earn it over decades. China's Navy has never fought a naval battle, not one. The Plan has never launched a combat airstrike from a carrier. It has never coordinated a carrier strike group under fire. It has never lost a ship and had to adapt in real time. All of its doctrine is theoretical. All of its training is peacetime. That gap matters more than any weapon system. Second, submarines. America's submarine force is arguably the most decisive advantage the U.S. holds. The Virginia-class nuclear attack submarine is virtually undetectable. China's anti-submarine warfare capabilities are decades behind. Multiple war games conducted by RAND Corporation and the Center for Strategic and International Studies have concluded that American submarines operating in the Western Pacific could inflict catastrophic losses on a Chinese invasion fleet, potentially sinking dozens of troop transports and warships before China even locates the subs. Third, allies. The U.S. doesn't fight alone. Japan has the most powerful navy in Asia after China, with advanced destroyers, excellent submarines, and bases right next to Taiwan. Australia brings submarines and surface ships. South Korea has a capable navy. The UK and France could contribute carrier strike groups. China has, effectively, no naval allies willing to fight alongside it. Fourth, technology edge, the Aegis Combat System. The E-2D Hawkeye airborne early warning aircraft. The P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol plane. Electronic warfare, satellite networks, cyber capabilities. The U.S. military's ability to network every sensor, every shooter, and every platform into a single, integrated picture is something China is still trying to replicate. Now let's talk about what keeps American admirals awake at night, because China is not a pushover. Not even close. China's biggest advantage is geography. Taiwan is 100 miles off the Chinese coast. China's nearest military bases are right there. American bases are thousands of miles away. Guam is 1,700 miles from Taiwan. Japan is closer, but using Japanese bases means Japan is in the war, which means Japanese cities become targets. Geography means China can concentrate everything it has in one area, while the U.S. has to project power across the largest ocean on Earth. Second, missiles. This is the game changer. China has invested billions in what military planners call A2/AD, anti-access, area denial. The goal is simple: make it so dangerous for American carriers to get close that they can't operate effectively. The centerpiece is the DF-21D, nicknamed the Carrier Killer. It's a medium-range ballistic missile with a maneuverable warhead designed to hit a moving ship at sea from over 900 miles away. No one has ever used an anti-ship ballistic missile in combat. No one knows for certain if it works against a real carrier with full defensive systems active, but no one wants to be the captain who finds out. Then there's the DF-26, range over 2,500 miles. It can reach Guam. It can reach any carrier operating within the second island chain. China has hundreds of these missiles, and they cost a fraction of what a carrier costs. The math is brutal. A $10 million missile versus a $13 billion ship. Third, numbers in the battle space. Near Taiwan, China can put over 1,000 fighter jets in the air. It has hundreds of fast missile boats that can swarm a surface fleet. It has the world's largest coast guard, which in wartime becomes a naval militia. The concentration of force near Taiwan is overwhelming. Fourth, cyber and space warfare. China has demonstrated anti-satellite weapons. It has invested heavily in cyber capabilities targeting military networks. In the opening hours of a conflict, China would almost certainly attempt to blind American satellites, jam GPS signals, and hack into military communications. If they succeed even partially, the U.S. technology advantage shrinks dramatically. So what does the actual battle look like? Let's walk through it. Hour 0. China launches a massive missile barrage at Taiwan. Simultaneously, cyber attacks target U.S. military networks across the Pacific. Anti-satellite weapons attempt to destroy or blind American reconnaissance and communication satellites. Chinese submarines, pre-positioned weeks earlier, begin moving toward known U.S. naval operating areas. Hours 1 through 6. The USS Ronald Reagan Strike Group, operating east of the Philippines, goes to full combat readiness. Every Aegis destroyer activates its air defense systems. F/A-18S launch from the carrier and establish a combat air patrol. The E-2D Hawkeye goes airborne to extend the strike group's radar picture by hundreds of miles. Meanwhile, American submarines already positioned near Taiwan begin transmitting targeting data back to the fleet. Hours 6 through 12. China detects the carrier strike group via satellite, or tries to. The U.S. employs electronic warfare and deceptive emissions to confuse China's targeting. But China launches a salvo of DF-21D missiles anyway, perhaps 20 or 30, aimed at the estimated carrier position. This is the moment of truth. The Aegis destroyers detect the incoming ballistic missiles. SM-3 and SM-6 interceptors launch. Electronic warfare systems try to confuse the missile seekers. The carrier maneuvers at maximum speed, 30+ knots, to move out of the targeting basket. Decoys deploy. Does the defense work? Nobody knows. Not the Pentagon, not Beijing. This scenario has never happened in human history. If even 1 or 2 missiles get through and hit the carrier, it could be mission killed. Not sunk, probably, but damaged badly enough that it can't launch aircraft. And a carrier that can't launch aircraft is just a target. Hours 12 through 48. This is where the submarine war becomes decisive. American Virginia-class submarines, operating undetected in the shallow waters around Taiwan, begin engaging the Chinese amphibious fleet. Each Virginia-class carries up to 40 Tomahawk cruise missiles and Mark 48 torpedoes. A single submarine could sink multiple troop transports in a single engagement. China's anti-submarine warfare is its weakest link. Its sonar technology is estimated to be 15 to 20 years behind the U.S. Its maritime patrol aircraft fleet is small. Finding a Virginia-class submarine in the open ocean is like finding a whisper in a hurricane. Meanwhile, American and Japanese long-range anti-ship missiles, fired from land bases, aircraft, and surface ships, begin targeting Chinese warships. The Chinese fleet takes losses, but so does the American side. Chinese submarines, while noisier, are numerous, and in the chaos of a major naval battle, even an older diesel submarine sitting quietly on the ocean floor can get a lucky shot. Days 2 through 7, attrition warfare. Both sides are taking losses. China's numerical advantage means it can absorb more punishment near its own coast. but its supply lines for an amphibious invasion are being shredded by American and Allied submarines and long-range strikes. The U.S. is taking losses too, possibly a carrier damaged, destroyers sunk, aircraft shot down. The American public is seeing casualties on the news for the first time since Iraq. The political pressure is enormous. So who wins? The honest answer, and I know this isn't satisfying, is that nobody wins. Not really. Most serious war games, including classified ones that have leaked in summary form, suggest the following. The United States and its allies can probably prevent a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. American submarines and long-range missiles would inflict devastating losses on any amphibious fleet attempting the crossing. China simply cannot protect enough troop transports to land the forces necessary to take the island. But, and this is the critical but, the U.S. takes severe losses doing it. Multiple war games have shown the U.S. losing 2 or more carriers, dozens of other ships, and hundreds of aircraft in a Taiwan scenario. Thousands of American sailors killed. The U.S. Navy in 2027 would come out of a Taiwan war significantly weakened, possibly too weakened to maintain its global presence for a decade. China loses its invasion fleet and suffers a strategic humiliation. The U.S. saves Taiwan, but bleeds for it. Both economies crater. Global trade collapses. 40% of the world's shipping passes through the South China Sea. Semiconductor production stops. Taiwan makes 90% of the world's most advanced chips. The global economy enters a depression that makes 2008 look like a hiccup. That's why, as of right now, neither side wants this war. China, because it's not confident it can take Taiwan. The U.S., because the cost of defending it might be higher than anyone is willing to admit publicly. But every year, China's Navy gets bigger. Its technology gets better. Its missiles get more accurate. And the window where the U.S. can confidently defend Taiwan gets narrower. The Pentagon knows this. Beijing knows this. And now you know it too. If you want to understand the weapon that gives the U.S. its biggest advantage in this scenario, the nuclear submarine, that's exactly what we're covering next week. It's the one thing China cannot copy. Not for decades. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you then.